you know, obviously it's not the easiest thing. It's a lot easier said than done to be able to pull yourself away from that lifestyle and pivot, you know what I'm saying? And at least kind of have, because, you know, what you do and what you started to do with YouTube, it's not something that just anybody can do who's a convict. It takes a lot, you know what I'm saying? Like, it takes a lot of dedication. I'm sure your first video didn't go crazy, you know, like it's...
I ain't gonna lie, my first video went crazy.
Oh, he's like, well, actually.
Bro, the way YouTube started for me was not, like, genuine, I guess, right? So I seen an interview on this channel called Lockdown 23-1.
Okay.
And Josh, he goes by the nickname Death. He was like...
Crazy nickname, by the way.
Right? Crazy. But he's mad. I think
Death.
It's more so like to do with like the Call of Duty shit. Like this is gamer tag or whatever. He's a cool dude, family man. And he was one of like the original prison channels, and he would interview people. So I watched an interview with him, interview this white blood from Virginia, and I'm like, man, this whole story sounds like bullshit. Like, how the fuck are you a white blood, but you didn't get to know gangster shit in prison? Like, you ain't get stabbed, you ain't stabbed nothing, you ain't... Right. You know, like, how the fuck did you just have it that easy? And then he said he wasn't blood anymore, but he's like speaking in code with the host. So that's like me like saying certain shit that you don't even know what it is just to try to sound cool on, you know? And I was like, man, that shit sound fake as fuck. So I reached out to Death on Facebook, like, yo, interview me. I wrote a little paragraph, everybody was liking it. He brought me on for an interview. That interview went crazy, and he was the one that was like, yo, you should start a channel. I started the channel, the first video went up.
What was your first video?
I forget what it was on. Maybe like Florida TOH, a test of hot, because a lot of people never heard of that shit. I just sat in front of a shitty camera in an empty room in an apartment and talked for like 30, 40 minutes.
About what the test of heart shit is.
Just memories, just talking about like, you know.
For people who don't know what that is, it's essentially like checking your temperature, making sure like if you're...
A test of hot, right, is really something that comes from the Florida JIT camps. So... in California, they got what's the fucking... it's not adult prison. It's the youth shit.
Yeah, juvie.
Not juvie. It's above that.
So it's like in between...
I forget what it's called in Cali, but see here, you got juvie. A lot of people got my life story fucked up. They think I just did straight juvie time. That's not what a JIT camp is. JIT camp is state prison. But what happens is if it's your first time in state prison from 14 to 24 years old, you're going to JIT camp. That's so the gladiators.
You could be 24 locked up with a 15-year-old.
Yeah. Crazy. You're just going to be in a different dorm.
Right.
But when we go to state prison, we're on the bus with all of the adults. We get separated at reception. So I went to the Central Florida Reception Center. That's in Orlando. I get put in H dorm. That's Hell dorm. This is JIT camp. This is where everybody's getting slashed. You got kids getting fucked with broomsticks. You got people getting lit on fire, poked the fuck up like 200 times. So that's where the TOH comes in, right? So you come in.
Right.
We're going to look at your tag, you know, to find out where the fuck you from, because the tag on your DC number is going to say the city. Or mine, it was a C. So if you're from Tampa, you normally get a T. I got a C. My DC number is C07652. So if I got a C, they're going to be like, oh, where the fuck you from? You from Central Florida. Where at? I'm from Tampa. Oh, Tampa's over there. You know what I'm saying? Or it's like, oh, we don't fuck with Tampa. And now you in a whole situation. But a TOH, if it's your people doing it from your city, they're going to act like, for one, they're not from your city. Or if you a Crip, all the Crips are going to act like they're Bloods to see how you react. Like, all right, you surrounded by straight enemies.
It's kind of like to test your character in
it's certain... It's a test, but it's a pain test. You're going to get held down and put in a fucking full Nelson and stabbed with a piece of a fence like 100 times. And they're going to see what the fuck you do. You know what I'm saying? People had like lighters and shit. They'd hold motherfuckers down, pull their pants down, light their dick and nuts on fire. Yeah, they're trying to extort you.
When you say extort, like what? So
they'll ask you, are you going to break it off? If you say yeah, nothing else is going to happen to you. You're going to get treated, no one's going to bother you, no one's going to fuck with you. But when that money comes from your family, it's getting took.
So essentially, you can stop whatever is happening to you. But
bro, you could break it off as soon as you walk in the dorm.
But, when you stop, that means that you're all right, now I got to pay people.
Yeah, you're like property.
Damn. So the longer you deal with the TOH, the more like you get on the other side of it, right? But my whole thing, if someone sets your dick on fire, what are we even talking about here?
Nah, bro, like I mean,
break it off.
That happened to one kid that I heard of. I never actually met the kid. It was in a different dorm, but you know, his dick hole shut, so he had to get sent to a different prison.
Was he fucking?
Nah, it's just the kid that got fucked over. But now for them, they get fucked with a broomstick, mop stick. They get held down, and you know they get their intestines blown out and shit. You're getting 14 inches of wood put in your ass. There's a lot of shit like that going on. So a lot of people never heard of this shit when I got on YouTube until I told them to look up Sumter CI, Lancaster CI. Those were the spots I was at.
Right.
Before that, it was Indian River, Brevard. These were places where, you know, like, you got lawnmowers. They would take the blades off and make machetes. So you got, like, 17-year-olds hitting each other with machetes, and then they're getting airlifted because they're barely, you know, they're barely alive.
Yeah, I can't even imagine, like, what the rehabilitation process even is like possible in those situations.
Well, that's the thing is, like, in the gladiators and the JIT camps, everyone wants to go to adult prison
because
like,
it's chill.
You can get killed over there, and there's a lot of gay shit over there
in the adult prison.
In the adult prisons, like every day it's going down in JIT camp, and I think it was like every Wednesday a new bus comes. When they take them off the bus, before you get off the bus, the COs are beating the shit out of you. Everybody gets slapped. So they'll tell you, stick your head under your nuts. You got to put your head as far down as you can on a bus. They come through, smack everybody in the back of the head. Lancaster, they take you in a room. Everybody got to strip naked. They go around, slap the fuck out of everybody just to get your attention. They'll tell you, look, we run this shit. Now, if y'all want to go PC, get in this line. If you want to go in the compound, get in this line.
PC is obviously protective
custody. Yeah, they go right to confinement. So if you decide you're going to stay, you go through like this little 2 weeks in a reception dorm. Then you go to the dorm that you're going to. Out of the 20 people that make it in the dorms, maybe like 5 stay on the compound. The rest of them are getting fucked up. And that's just how it is. Like, if you blood and they put you in a Zoe house, them boys gonna cut you, stab you, whatever. Like, within the first hour of you being in there.
Jesus.
It's lit.
It seems like a very broken way of trying to rehabilitate people.
There's no such thing as rehabilitation in prison. There is none.
Yeah, I just feel like fuck, man. Especially if it's like the younger generation, and it's like, damn, you fuck around and you end up, you know, a lot of people who are kids make stupid decisions, but they ain't really about that life. But they end up sitting there, and now they're forced to be about that life.
I mean, I met this one dumb motherfucker at Appalachia CI. This is when I went to an adult prison because my YO got snatched. So if you get involved in like a big enough riot, or you get a DR for assault on an inmate. I had assault on an inmate, possession of weapon, whatever. They sent you to adult prison. But because I had negative disciplinary reports, they sent me to one of the most active adult prisons in Florida, which is Appalachia CI. It's way up in the Panhandle. I met this kid there. You know, he's wilding out in prison, robbing people, this and that. He had like 2 months to go home. He goes home, comes back. Ends up coming back with like 35 years because the shit he was doing in there, he did it to one person on the street. And the thing is, in prison, if I cut you and I get caught cutting you, 60 days in confinement for cutting you, 60 days in confinement for the weapon. I do 120 days in confinement.
That's nothing.
I come back out.
Because you're already in there.
I cut you on the street.
That's aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
What, 10, 15 years?
Yeah.
So these kids are coming in here fried. You know, they did some light shit. They might have done a burglary. They might have broken into a car, whatever.
Right.
They come in here. They turn the fuck up. They get
and now
released.
they're normalized to that level of violence.
Yeah, and then you get out. And you go smack something. You
and someone says something, and you go out to the club, you go to a house party, someone talks to you the wrong way.
And now it's not razors, it's guns.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? So now you just pop the shit out of somebody. Now you got to go do forever, and you're fucking 20. I got released from prison at 20 years old. The first thing I did was I got the fuck out of Florida. I went back up to Massachusetts. I got released from prison July 1st, 2015. In July 2016, I caught a case in Boston. They said I was chasing somebody with a gun trying to rob them.
Was that when the setting up on the dating apps thing?
Yeah.
Which dating apps was this? Was this
Tinder and Plenty of Fish?
POF is where you get the sick fucks.
POF is where this kid got fucked over, yeah.
Oh, I bet, yeah.
But there was multiple robberies I was under investigation for. So part of the plea deal was they weren't going to keep, you know.
Did you have to do time for that?
Nah,
no.
I got probation.
That's good.
Yeah, no, I got over because apparently the kid got robbed, and then gave two different. Basically, I lived right where it happened at.
So he's like, I don't want to.
Nah. So this is what happened: is I ran up on him and put the shit on him, and he pulled out fucking mace. So it's like, all right, I'm not gonna, you know, like I'm trying to take shit. I'm not trying to kill you.
I'm not trying to pick up a murder charge.
Mace. He's shaking and shit. So I'm like, I'm gonna put the gun up and then just come back out here and beat the fuck out of him because I've already been sprayed in prison and shit.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm not worried about the spray. So I go back in the crib. I change my clothes. I come out with a whole new fit. He already called the police. So when I come back out, he's still there because I'm still texting him on the app, acting like I'm the bitch 3 apartments up. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when he fucking.
Oh, so he was like waiting out there, like for a girl.
For a bitch.
Oh wow.
Yes, some bitch.
So you were catfishing.
I had pictures of a bitch I knew in Florida.
That's great.
Yeah. So that's how it played out. He already called the police. So when I came back out the second time, they jumped out on me.
That's crazy.
But now if I had caught that case in Florida,
here, you'd be fucked.
Yeah, because of the PRR law, the Prison Release Reoffenders Act. So any charge you get, they double it and make it mandatory. Armed robbery is a PBL, punishable by life. I would have had a double life sentence mandatory.
Because you already had your
Because
priors.
I just got released within 3 years.
Do you think that's it? So let me ask you, because obviously Florida's like, you know, the Polk County Sheriff always is going viral. That motherfucker's hilarious.
Yeah, Judd.
Yeah, that fool's so funny. But it feels like, I guess Florida is like one extreme of like the judiciary system in terms of like being in LA and like how liberal everything is. Like, obviously you can't have a gun in LA, but I feel like, you know, it's a lot more easier to get away with shit in crime wise and in more liberal cities. I feel like Florida's like kind of like the other extreme. Do you feel like it does deter people from getting out and reoffending? Like,
not really. I mean, if you like live down here long enough, like you're gonna, I don't know if they still have them, but I know like when I was growing up, you would see the 10-20 life billboards. It's like pull a gun during the commission of a felony, that's 10. Shoot the gun, it's 20. If you shoot someone, it's life. So it's like, I don't know, you hear that shit, but it doesn't really stop people from doing shit.
right.
It still happens. So it's just, and it also depends on where you're at. You know what I mean? Like if you're in an active ass place, you want to protect yourself. But the one thing about Florida though that Cali doesn't have is you can stand your ground.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Which is like obviously, you know, a good and a bad thing depending on.
I mean, it's
I feel like living in LA long enough. I feel like I wish we had that shit because it's like everyone's getting robbed in LA.
Nah, yeah. It'd be completely different. You go to Rodeo Drive and you shoot someone in the fucking face because they try to take your watch, and you don't even get put in handcuffs.
They understand. Out there, you're going to get charged. You're getting charged.
Yeah, you're going away for that. So in Florida, if you literally walked up to me and said, take that chain off, and I shot you in the fucking face. No, not even threatening you. If I shot you in the fucking face, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm a felon. I might go down for the gun, but I'm not going down for killing you.
Right.
You try to take my chain. So Florida, like, it has its pros and its cons.